let's get started. And thank you so much for being here. And it's very nice to see everyone. And let's dive in to the presentation. And today, specifically, I'm going to talk about how to develop your game face routine, the 4 R's between points, which helps you to get in the zone or flow. So we already talked about it, but in this presentation, I will give specific steps and exercises and examples how to do that. And I just want to highlight before this performance triangle, we talked about this, but I would like to always highlight the importance of thoughts, body language, and feelings because they are connected. And your thoughts, feelings, and body language affect how you cope with stress and how you get in the zone. So what you say to yourself, your body will likely to follow. And self-talk is an inner dialogue with yourself. It can be out loud or inside in your head, and it also impacts your performance. And of course, positive performance has affect positive performance. So it's important to be aware of your thoughts, feelings, and lastly, how you hold yourself affect also how you feel and your performance and confidence level. So even when someone makes a mistake, it's very important to keep a positive body language. So when I will talk about the routines, the game face routines between points, these 3 factors I tied together. So stimulus and response runs our life. And when there is stress, there is a stimulus, and your response is based on how you feel and interpret the situation. And it's very important that you want to think is in a positive way when you're in a stressful situation, because if you do that, you feel more confident. And when you feel that way, you can basically interpret situations like challenging situations, feeling excited about it rather than feel frozen or choking. I'm pretty sure everyone experienced it here, who is in the call, that when you played rather table tennis or any other sports, or you were in any other situations, and when you were overstressed, and you can't cope with the situation, you freeze, right? So, and other situation, you feel excited and you perform well. So I just wanted to show here that, awareness, I always highlight in every presentation the most important factor. So how you feel in a situation, you want to be aware of that, and actually you can control your thoughts and change the interpretation of the situation, which is key. Also during points and right before your matches. Since I'm going to talk about the 4 R's and they are routines, before we dive into that, it's important that we talk about a little bit about what routine is, since the 4 R's is about using routines between points, right? So performance routines can be physical, like motor movements, but also psychological behaviors. And it can be before, during, and after execution of a sporting task. So it can be right before the competition, during the competition, and also after, right? And performance routine focus on the execution and not the outcome, which is key. We also talked about it. When someone is focusing too much on the outcome, basically they forget to focus on what they have to do in the moment, which is not so good, because it's crucial for able to win the match. So why are performance routines important? I usually say that routine is a good friend, So routines are behaviors that you do every time when you play. And routines are important because they help you to feel confident, prepare for your matches, and focus your attention. And you can have routines before, during, and after matches. It can be developed consciously or unconsciously as well. But this is helpful. I'm sure everyone experience when you just have a routine, you don't even think about what you're doing, and you're doing it, so everything comes with an ease, right? So it's helpful. And I'm mainly going to I'm going to talk about the routines between points, but I wanted to give this distinction and just give you some examples about pre-performance routines as well. So it's also important what you do before your tournament or match. So I usually say as well that the match already started before you started the match. So when you step back to the table, you want to be ready, right? You don't want to play 5 points, then be ready. So to be able to do that, you might want to use imagery, which is kind of like visualizing that you are performing well right before your match, or visualize tactics. And also right before your match, you can do circle breathing or deep breathing to handle your nerves and relax your body. And also use your affirmations. Nutrition, hydration is also important to have an optimal state, and listening to music, stretching, warming up. So these are the performance routines. And during matches, and this presentation is about that, the 4 R's, but I also just share a little bit more here that we go over the 4 R's, the reaction, recovery, ready, and the ritual, basically. But also besides that, pacing is very important during matches. Everyone likes to play, everyone's style is different. Some players like to play faster, some play slower. So it's good to have that awareness and energy level as well. So when people step back to the table, it's good to bring up the energy and think sharp. And also there are routines after matches as well, which is also crucial in the long term. So stretching and reviewing goals and doing self-reflections are very important. And I also will share a couple of things regarding that. But let's dive in right now, the between points, which is very important, what players do between points. And there are 4 stages: the reaction, recovery, ready, and ritual between points. And I give a little insights about this, but we will go over. So reaction is basically right after the point ends, there is a reaction. So there is a reaction regarding the reaction. The player wants to have a strong, confident body posture, no matter of what. And if a mistake has been made, you use a mistake ritual to deal with it. We specifically will talk about that. And also saying something positive or challenge yourself is also important. The recovery is basically when you recover emotionally, mentally, and physically between points. That means that using deep breathing, focusing your eyes on one thing, walk into a comfortable place, bounce on your feet, stretch and shake your arms and legs. Ready means that be ready, mentally ready for the next point. So basically it's about the tactics, right? And the ritual is the serve and serve. Ritual is about how many times you bounce the ball and also what your serve receive position. But we will go over in more detail. So let's start with the first stage, which is the reaction. And I already went through of that, right? In the previous slide. One more thing, and we already had actually a conversation with Torsten a little bit during the first presentation about the 80-10-10 rule as well, right? So I would say everyone's chemistry is a little bit different. So you just want to know what works the best for you. And of course, regarding the 80-10-10, so 80% be 80% neutral, 10% celebration, 10% challenge, right? But regarding that, I mean, there are exceptions regarding players. So I would say everyone to find what works the best for them, right? But the bottom line is that body language and affirmations are crucial, and also using a mystic ritual. So the first thing you can do, but the question today is how you're developing these routines, right? And the first thing, what I would say is watch a video yourself playing and take notes of your body language after winning and losing points. And also think about, I mean, also it's a good question to ask that, can you tell based on your body language that you are winning or losing the point, right? So the first step is awareness. You can observe a lot by just watching yourself, and take your notes here. And it's also important to identify that what you want to change. Okay, so first you want to know how you are doing regarding your body language, and also what you want to change. And in general, it's a really good exercise to play points, even just a practice match, and after just only focus on the body posture after every point. So the head is up, the shoulder is up, make a fist. So basically it's a good exercise to do after you watch your video, is that create an optimal response that is actually aligned with your temper, because everyone is different. Some some players are more expressive, some other players less expressive, right? So that's crucial. And here's just a quick video. I just want to show regarding.
Why did this simple moment from a college basketball game go viral? This clip of Jalen Hands lifting up Moses Brown's chin still hovers around social media feeds. It's been labeled as one of the greatest acts of spontaneous leadership caught on camera. But I think it tells us and shows us something else. The body language is a secret weapon in sport. It's happening every second of every game, match, or race that we watch. But do we really always see it, and what impact it's having on the outcome? Do we really process what's going on when the commentator says their heads have dropped, or he looks like a man possessed? And if we did become more aware of it, could we ourselves use this secret weapon to enhance our own performance? Let's find out. So
yeah, so I just wanted to show this video that body language is a non-verbal communication, right? So even if we are looking other players, even our opponents, or if you're a coach, your players, or you are watching your videos, that already gives lots of information. So it's very important to develop a positive body language, which means also in the video you could see that how it was a team sport, but how the teammate helped to optimize the posture, right? The head is put the head is up, and how we hold ourselves. It affects our feelings and basically how we feel. So even if we don't feel confident, we hold ourselves in a confident body posture. It helps to move on in the moment. So the third exercise that I wanted to share here is to create a mistake ritual. Mistakes part of the game, and great athletes can overcome mistakes regarding what happened in the loss of the previous point. And a mistake ritual basically is a great way to keep present focus and stay in the moment and not to think about the past, right? So I don't know if anyone has a mistake ritual here. Okay, no response means no mistake ritual. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step process how to develop your mistake ritual. I personally use mistake ritual, and I also teach it to athletes. And it's good to create a mistake ritual that what helps you to move on. So the first step is to know what you do when you do a mistake, right? So are you shaking your head, or are you start talking to yourself negatively? So the first step is awareness, and that's why the video analysis is very important. And the second step is create a mistake ritual that works for you. So what you can do, what is helpful for you, that helps you to move on. And again, body language, just being neutral and focusing on your deep breathing and using affirmation. It's okay, just move on. For example, it's a very simple thing to do, but it's very helpful. So it's good to develop a mistake ritual. My what I usually recommend and to athletes and help them to move on is turning around, looking at one spot, and walking to a comfortable place. It's very helpful just to move on and emotionally not be involved in the mistake. So it's very helpful, and it's very good to create the mistake ritual and after practice it as well. So another way to practice also, I shared before, one of the things you want to practice a confident body language, but also you want to practice a mistake ritual. For example, 1 or 2 games, or even just throughout a match, or you want to make your players do that. It can be very helpful to develop that. And the third step is, I would say it's a great exercise, is to smile and be positive after the point ends. So after a mistake, and I'm not going to show a video, but I played with Adam, and there was a point that basically missing a very easy shot after the smiling really helped to basically move on. But in general, just smiling helps you to create positive emotions. And also this is a great exercise to do that. Just your goal is just to laugh, and it will help you to also move on. So this is also a great exercise to practice this regarding your reaction. I'm not going to show the laughing part, but it's okay. So the fourth exercise regarding the third exercise is basically use affirmations. And we also talked about this before, but writing down 3 affirmations that you can practice daily, it's very helpful. And also another exercise, play a game and or a match, and just focus on using those affirmations. How I said that first step is awareness, and at identifying negative thoughts, and after rather using thought stopping technique that I will share, or also changing them to positive ones, are a great technique regarding the first regarding reaction. So here are some examples of the affirmations. I'm confident, I'm relaxed, I'm focused, I feel the ball, I just go for my shots, I believe in myself, I really come through under pressure, I'm calm, I can do it, I'm ready. So basically you want to create 3 affirmations that you can use confidently. And that's another way to also practice, basically when you're playing a practice match, to use those. And then you also want to identify the negative thoughts that usually have after missing a shot or during a competition. I just gave a couple of examples. I can't play today. I'm not ready. How could I miss that shot, right? These are very general ones. And it's very effective to create a cue word, and also use a signal, a stop, basically a stop sign that can help you to stop your negative thoughts. And this is called use thought stopping techniques. I can tie this back to be challenge yourself when you play, right? So when you notice that you're getting negative, you can snap your fingers, you can slap your legs as well, and you can just say stop to yourself, or you can even visualize a stop sign. So this is very effective. It's a small and a little things to do, but very effective. And we also talked about it, but I want to recap here regarding thoughts. You want to identify your negative statements, but are also able to reframe those situations. Reframing means that you change your negative self-talk into positive ones. So basically it involves creating alternative frames of reference or different ways of looking the same situation. So I gave you a couple of examples here. I'm not ready to play. I will use what I got. I will have fun, right? That's what you can reframe. I'm feeling tense or anxious. I'm excited for the challenge and ready. But the first step would be to really identify those thoughts and reframe those. And actually, it's not just at the table, but it's in life as well. You can do that, and it's very helpful. So that was the first step, reaction, right? The second step is the recovery during in the game phase routine. So you want to recover emotionally, mentally, and physically, and create an optimal energy level. And breathing and walking away from the table, picking up the balls, wiping the table, wiping your paddle, wiping the floor with your shoes, bouncing on your feet, using your towel helps you basically recover between points. Okay, so I just listed those things here. And I also give here a little example. It's just a recent video that was uploaded, but I want everyone just take a look at Malong is playing here. That's, yeah, the wiping the table, right? Blowing his paddle. Oh, basically they are doing the points, the routines between points.
Well, it's making everything look very comfortable.
The bouncing on
the
the flag is also very important, right? We will talk about the serve ritual as well a little bit later. So how he's bouncing, and just really focusing on one spot, always wiping his table, right? Hold on. He's doing, no matter what, he's doing the same thing
So Marlon
when he serves.
managed with the other Chinese players, which looks to dominate. Says he doesn't.
He does exactly the same thing. Go back to the table and wipe
So
the,
that's
wipe the table.
playing, I think, about it.
So recovery is very important, and every player is different. When he's not showing reaction. So I just wanted to show here a couple of examples for recovery, and a way to create your recovery routine. I mean I like to show a list and basically choose what you would like to do and what's helpful for you. You can create your recovery routine by watching your video and record the match when you played your best, what you did, right? Because that shows what you are currently doing when you're playing your best, but also analyze the situation in a way, what else you can add that is helpful for you, and use the most important recovery steps for yourself. And in table tennis, if you are talking about table tennis, wiping the table, bouncing on your feet, and also focus. If you look at the players, they are also focused. The really good players, they're always focusing on one point, right? And of course, using the towel every 6 points, shaking legs and arms. So these are crucial ones and very helpful. And everyone has an optimal pace. And it's also important that what you do, not just during points, but between games as well. I'm pretty sure many times you experience that one game, or you see it with your students, or you watched on YouTube or on the TV, that one game went really well, and after there was some momentum shift, right? After the game, after the next set. So it's important to have a routine also between games as well, which is very short, but know what works for you. Even there are, of course, physical, mental rituals, but you want to have the awareness and know what works for you. And also focusing on your, for example, focusing on your breathing, or if you had some players had a long day, even one bite of very small food can be helpful, right? Like a bite of banana sometimes. I mean, it's a really long day, so with long matches. So just it's important to be aware of that, and also create an awareness what works for you. The next step regarding the game face ritual routine is basically be mentally prepared for the next point. So this step is about the tactics, and know what happened and what's my job for the next point, right? It's a very quick mental analysis, so it happens usually intuitively, but it's important that players playing intentionally during a game. And I also created some questions for you that can be helpful for you to analyze your game and know what's your A game, what are your strengths, and after which serves do you play the most confidently, right? So these are important questions to answer, to know what you want to play in a game. When you play your best, what are your strengths, what are your best serves, and also what serves do you want to use, what tactics do you want to play after your serve, and where do you want to place your first shot based on who you are playing against, right? And do you want to play short, or do you want to serve short or long, or do you want to receive the serve short or long? And what pace do you want to play, which is good for you? So these are important questions to ask and answer these questions. But since the game is very quick, you have to do it in a way that is almost, I mean, you have to know these things before the game, during the game, and analyze it very quickly. Regarding the ready steps, you want to know when you're playing, and that helps you to prepare regarding the tactics in a game situation, that where did you win points, where did you lose points, and what tactics you play overall. And also know what are your opponent's weaknesses, right? And the other thing is also, and it's so crucial now, and the rules changed, and it's a new thing, is to when to call a timeout, right? Because that can change the whole match and the momentum. So this was the ready phase. And the next step is the ritual, serve and serve receive ritual. It's a serve and the serve ritual is a physical preparation, or serve and serve receive ritual is a physical preparation right before the point happens, and it helps to deepen the concentration. It is a crucial preparation right before the points happens, and it really helps to feel confident, and helps the conscious thinking as well. So and we also talked about it the first presentation, that serve ritual means that how many times you bounce the ball, and also if you take a deep breath, or where you look right before. But I also created a list here that can be very helpful to creating your serve ritual. So determine positioning and the foot placement, just check in with that. Decide on the grip, right? The grip is different for different serves. Take a deep breath. And also the bouncing the ball, it's very, very helpful. I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that. If you want to bounce the ball on the floor and it's not bouncing back, although that's your serve ritual, it can be very annoying. So you want to create a serve ritual that you can use anywhere, because that can be frustrating and it might limit your serve. And also where you want to look right before your serve, that's also important. And also visualize and feel your serve, and focus on the toss and contact. I know this is lots of information, but this, if you're doing it, everything happens unconsciously. So I broke these down into different steps, but normally this happens just so quickly. And table tennis is such a complex game, and when you know the different pieces, you can just put together without thinking about it, right? But awareness helps to create that. And it's also very important to create a serve receive ritual. So even where you position yourself, and also taking a deep breath. And for example, also some people have a very specific ritual right before they get into the ready position, just a little bit touching the table with their paddle. So it's also good to know that what can be helpful for you. I'm sure everyone could relate to that that you're getting in a serve receive position, but you weren't that ready, and that's why you missed a serve receive, right? Because you couldn't react in a way. So this is also good to be aware of that, and also how you can prepare yourself, how you can mentally and physically react so quickly that you're able to read the serve and also react, which is difficult. So serve and serve receive, very important. So in summary, regarding the 4 hours in the game phase, the game is not decided only it's not decided just during the game situation, but also between points as well. And between points time and playing time is a ritual act together. So therefore we need to look it at holistically. So this is really important. And lastly, I added, since we talked about routines, reflection as well. So after the matches, tournaments, and even practice, but also matches, it's important to reflect what happened, what did I do well, and what I could do, what could I have done differently, and how I'm going to do that differently. So what did I learn, right, next time? And this small check-in, it's crucial, because usually you write down the same things. So it's good to work on those. And I also share here that I usually use with athletes. This is just a feedback sheet regarding their mental game. I usually use this with them, that just rate themselves 1 to 10, like how did they play? Was it fun or not at all? Did they enjoy playing? How nervous they were? Were they in the zone or not? Could they concentrate? So how was their concentration, energy level? How was their negative self-talk or positive self-talk, right? What thoughts did they use during points? Were they in the moment? How did they control their body language? How was their serve ritual? How was their recovery ritual? How was the tactics? Serve receive ritual, confidence level, and did they feel that they control the match? How motivated were they? And how satisfied they are with the match, and could they achieve their goals? So this is also like this is really just regarding their mental game, but it's good to have this reflection after matches. So thank you very much. That was the presentation, and I would like to open it up for questions and comments.
Thank you very much, Dora. I love that you said that's annoying, because yes, it's super mega annoying when the ball doesn't bounce up again. Just I definitely know that feeling. And then of course the lighting, it's not so good. The ball is not round enough. There's a little bit of wetness in the table and all these other things. So nice excuses, I find them. So yeah, any questions? Any questions from anyone? Otherwise, I need to put Bob on the spot, and he needs to ask a few questions. Okay, then
I can also
ask
a question.
Yeah, I have another question. I have a question for you. Like, are you doing reflections as well after practices, or just doing competitions?
No, after practice as well. I mean, yes, after practice as well. It's good to do a reflection.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's very funny right now. We have a kid that is going to participate in a multi-sport tournament, and he's just mimicking a lot of the things that I was doing. And it's very cute, because when we take our paddle and we're blowing into our hand, for example, the sweat or whatever else is in the hand, he's now actually blowing his paddle. And it's funny that he created his own game routine, but he doesn't quite know that he actually created a game routine there, because every time he does it, he serves like 2 seconds later and misses most of the time, or he does some kind of a mistake. So today we actually took him aside and says, you know, you need to actually stop, think first what you want to do. All the things that you said is to build up a little bit more on that game routine for him, not just pretending that he's doing what someone else is doing, but it was kind of cute and nice to see that all the things that you're saying are actually happening here in real life for us too. So that's very fun. Thank you.
It's great to hear. And yes, so the routines regarding the routines, the top players also, if you look at the top players, everyone has some routines, right? And many times they don't develop it consciously, but of course it can be so there are some routines that are conscious and there are some routines that are unconscious. So
yeah. Oh, you have a question?
Yes, Karin.
Hello, Dora. Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a quick question for you about, I guess the routine can help to come down after a match, and especially if you losing the match and you are frustrated or very disappointed. Do you have some tips that we could use to just calm down? Because I guess I like very much the tool that you present with the question, because I think you can see all the parts that you want to reflect, but I guess you want to do it when you're calm and not too much frustrated after your match. So do you have something in your routine that can help to calm down after your match? Not sure if you understood my question, but
absolutely. In the moment, it can be very frustrating, and I know many players have very negative thoughts right after the match, and after 10 or 15 minutes, you know, it's different, right? Because they calm down. So doing the reflections, it's better to do it wait like 10-15 minutes or half an hour, or it can be later as well, right? So especially after a tough loss, the player has to recover from that emotionally and mentally. So you want to give that time for the player, and give some space for them. Everyone is different. So some players just like to be with themselves, right? If they have a tough loss, some players want to more socialize, but that's just talk to someone and not to talk about the match right after, just talk something else. So it's individual what works for the athlete, but doing a reflection is important. And it's better if it's if you wait with that when especially when they lost. But I always highlight to the players that you win or you win experience. So humor, I always usually say, it's also very helpful after a tough loss. But of course, you have to know who you use it with and how you can use it, but basically have the player to see that it's not the end of the world, right? That they lost a match, because they can learn from it. It makes them better in the long run. And many times these tough moments helps a player to really work on their challenges and weaknesses. And even they can make it a strength in the future when they do that. So to answer your question, I don't know if I answered to your question.
I was wondering, because sometimes they have to play very quickly after they're lost, and I was wondering, do you have some tips to like calm down more quickly so they can play their next match and not stay frustrated?
Yes. So if that happens, Breathing exercise is very helpful, just doing a breathing exercise. Also, helpful visualization imagery for the next match when they have to play, to imagine themselves playing well, even after the tough loss. But if they have to recover very quickly, also just going for a 1 or 2 minute walk outside and wash their face, just just a little bit movement, and help them to move on to the next match. It's very important. But again, it depends if they are tired or not tired, or they are just very frustrated. But basically help them to get change how they are feeling, right? Because when they are really feeling down, it's really hard to play the next match. So you want to help them to move on and reflect it later. Also listening to music. I don't know if they have to play right after and they don't have any time, you can just tell them to just go to the bathroom, wash their face, and just give them a couple of minutes to come back, and after tell them just, that's done, it's done, and this is a new game. So really encourage them, and with positive affirmations.
Thank you very much. I did not think about the breath, but I guess that's a very useful tool at this point.
Breathing is very useful, and also you can do a breathing exercise with them that is helping them inhaling the energy and exhaling the tension and frustration. So just imagining that can be helpful.
Thank you very much.
And Dora, can you maybe talk about the 80-10-10 rule again? Jimmy asked that in the chat.
Yes, and sorry, I didn't explain it in more detail. So the 80% means that basically a player wants to keep neutral reaction, 80% neutral reaction, which means that it's not overexcited, it's not frustrated, right? So it's more like a game face, so neutral, and not overreacting the points, rather you win or lose the point. And 10% means 10% of celebration. When somebody wants to wins a point, they celebrate, right? But if they're celebrating, and I know there are some players who are celebrating after every points, but that can be a little tiring. So 10% means that you want to do 10% celebration, and the other 10% means that you want to challenge yourself. You can I mean, it can be, you can say some challenging words to yourself. You can do better than that, right? So like, but 10% when you can just get out your frustration, or you can slap on your leg as well, but that helps you just to move on to the next point, right? So the 80% means that the player is neutral, 10% of celebration, and 10% of frustration is basically allowed. But again, everyone is different, so every player, this can be a little bit modified based on the temper. There are some more expressive players, and there are some less expressive players. Oh, sure.
Thank you, Dora. I have another question for you. I have an athlete, and we're doing a simple exercise where we try and we build the routine. So, for example, we do a backhand and forehand out of the middle, and just a simple exercise like that to build muscle memory a little bit, that you play the forehand out of the middle rather than playing a backhand. But then also trying to be in ready position every stroke. So now it's very hard to actually react to that ball, and it's the overthinking that comes into place. So I'm thinking, oh, a ball comes to me, I need to attack it no matter where it comes. So I'm thinking before I'm actually just reacting to a ball. Is there any tips and tricks that you have for that?
So thinking, too much thinking is inhibiting motor reaction. So, I mean that I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that. If you start thinking, your movements are slower, or you can do the strokes that well, right? So, to answer that question, is that just thinking in images, it's helpful rather than words. So having cues also what they want to do, so can be helpful. And to increase the quickness and decision making, imagery, so basically visualizing that exercise, where the ball comes, and they have to do it mentally. So doing mental rehearsal for this drill can be very helpful, because it helps with understanding the stroke and practicing it, and basically with the execution as well. So basically visualization is great imagery, because you can learn new techniques and also increase quickness. I don't know if I answered to your question.
Yes, that's interesting that you say that. What my trick is, and it's not much mental performance, I think, is I just accelerate the speed. So I'm going faster and faster, so that person doesn't need to think, and it's just the reaction kicks in. I mean, you need to have the basic strokes in place, but that's what I'm trying to do. Is I just accelerate the speed, and then go faster until they can still return it, but they don't think and just need to react to the ball. So that's my little trick, but I like the visualization piece, so that's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. And of course, if it's fast, and also that's why in table tennis thoughts just during the rally it doesn't work, because it's so fast. So as soon as you start thinking, you basically inhibit your movements.
Thank you.
Yeah, but no, but that's very good.
Any last question before we say thank you very much, Dora, for tonight? Any last question? No, we're all ready for the holidays, I think. Yes, so thank you very much, Dora, and thank you very much for everybody for coming. We'll start again next year. So whenever you're ready, I'll send out some notes. We'll put some more social media posts out again. And then we'll talk a little bit more mental performance. For us, it's very important to try and get our athletes included that are participating in the next Winter Games. And so hopefully they will join us the next time. And yeah, thanks again, everyone, for coming. And thanks, Dora, for being who you are. And thanks for helping. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. And I just put also on the screen we will meet January 8th. And yes, it's going to be an engagement session about optimal state flow or zone, basically. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dora. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.